Hello, everyone. Okay, thank you for tuning in. I am JayLee. This is JLeesCorner. This is my review for Marriage Boot Camp. Who Cares Edition, episode 18,000, season 45 million. But let's get started. I don't even feel like going through my whole spiel about JayBird, inhale, exhale, relax, relate, release, and check and center yourself because this show aggravated me today. So let's just get into it, okay? So we see the aftermath of the whole Vado Tahiri incident. We see, Dr. Ish taking him away or whatever, letting him know, you can't be doing that. You can't be doing that. And we see Vado was upstairs when Dr. Ish is talking to Vado. Now, he brings up, Vado does, she threw them apples at me, at my head. She kept disrespecting me. Then she did not apologize for throwing the apples at me. And then started talking about me sitting there like even more. And, while I was sitting right next to her. And, Dr. Ish tells somebody, well, even if she punched you, 2 times with her fist, you still can't put your hands on her. I disagree. This is the part that aggravates me. I am not in no way, shape, or form defending Vado. Not doing that at all. I'm saying even is even does. And the fact that they are completely glossing over the reason he was upset in the first place. No one is saying he was right for what he did. No one is saying Tahiri deserved for him to yoke up. No one is saying that at the all. But every action has a reaction, okay? And I feel like, to be fair, they need to address the action and the reaction. The first thing they should have done was reacted and checked Tahiri for her action. Boom, okay? Also check Vado for his reaction. Boom. And I feel like people are getting the two things misconstrued, as in with anybody, who can say, well, Tahiri shouldn't have did that. It's not saying that she deserved anything, but Tahiri is an angry, aggressive, violent person as well, which is just another reason why she should not be with Vado. Vado was 100% dead ass wrong. However, we have to be sure to tell people, keep your hands or your apples to yourself. And the fact that Dr. Ish said, even if she put her hands on you, you still can't put your hands on her. No. He shouldn't put his hands on any woman. Okay, but we also have to keep our hands to ourselves. Anybody, any mother who has a child has usually said, you have to protect yourself, son. Okay, and I get people's issue was Vado did not instantly react. And to me, the fact that he didn't instantly react means he's probably not a typical abuser. He sat there pissed. And anybody no one can say who has anger issues, they've never sat there and got more and more pissed and then snaps, okay? And what I can appreciate is he admitted, I snapped, shouldn't have done that later on or whatever. But I mean, the way they just kind of put it all on Vado is what I don't like. And again, that doesn't mean he wasn't wrong or whatever. But again, Dr. Ish then tells Vado, because of all of this, we're going to separate you from the group right now. We're going to leave you in here and go back there and do that. Now, downstairs, all the couples are saying how it happened so quick. None of them knew what to do because it was a split second that it happened, and so none of them had a time or a chance to even react because it happened so quick. Dr. Ish popped off so quick. It was like a split second. I think we forget the way they show us things, make it seem as if a lot of time has went in between, and it could have been literally a second. But I digress, whatever. And they all brought up how, Phaedra said, like, we could see how angry he was the whole time sitting there. And a lot of people also brought up, they waited to do Tahiri and Vado at the end. And the whole time Vado kept sitting there getting more and more upset. And the part that aggravates me is the cameras seen and knew, the producers knew Tahiri had threw them apples at that man. They knew that. They also sat there and saw him pissed the whole time. Any other time there is any kind of altercation, y'all separate the two and have a conversation. The fact that that was not done, I blame production and WeTV and Marriage Boot Camp as a whole, because it's bullshit to make it seem as if the only violence that people suffer is men who attack women and not women who attack men. It's a double standard. There are men who are abused by women. I just want them to fully address domestic violence, that it can go both ways. We have to teach men to keep their fucking hands to themselves, but we also have to teach women to do the same. A man being stronger than a woman does not make a woman hitting a man any less wrong. And that's what I hope, or I wish they would have addressed. Now, Dr. Ish put this on Twitter. He says Tahiri's violent behavior was addressed at length too. Sadly, that talk didn't make it to air. Okay, he put that up tonight at around 9:30 p.m. or whatever through his iPhone. And I feel like the fact that he's saying we did address it, and the fact that WeTV did not air it, is what made me more mad. Because to me, that means they consciously made a decision to not address two people who were violent in one way or the other to each other. If you're going to put these domestic violence advertisements and awareness before each commercial or whatever, you should have showed what y'all said to Tahiri. Tahiri is a victim. True. She's also an aggressor. She's also an abuser. So we can't negate that fact. And I don't like that, because that perpetuates women feeling like they can do whatever. And then if someone reacts to their action, that they aren't wrong, that the man is wrong because you still should hit me. No, we should keep our hands to ourselves. And again, I told y'all, I was in a fully domestic violence relationship in my late teens, early 20s. Okay, I've told y'all that my ex attacked me with a baseball bat. Boom. So you can't tell me you don't know. I do know. I've lived it. I've survived it. You know what I'm saying? So I just want them to actively address it. Okay. Anyway, so Dr. Ish brings up how, you know what, it doesn't matter what Tahiri did. Vado should have not grabbed her. Again, I don't agree. I do not agree. Saying that means it doesn't matter how aggressive or violent a woman is to a man. A man should never retaliate. I don't believe that. If you step to a dude, you can't feel like he can't retaliate. I do, as a woman, I don't agree with that. I just don't. I was raised to keep my hands to myself, because if I hit someone, I can't be upset if they hit me back, man or woman. No one has the right to put their hands on anyone. And if I hit a man and he hits me back, that's my fault. That's not his fault. I should not have hit him. We have to learn that. That's just the thing. Should men hit women? No, not at all. They should know better. But we should know better too. I don't see how that's such a hard fact to understand. I'm like, they didn't address shit. And the fact that Dr. Ish said it was recorded, it was a conversation, they didn't air it. That's some bullshit to me. Anyway, you know, he does talk to Tahiri in private, and ask her, like, you know, do you want to call the police? And she was like, no. He said, well, that tells me that you've been through this before. Tahiri has brought that up before, that she has been in other abusive relationships or whatever, but she said Vado has never done that. Now, she made excuses for him too. She brought up how, you know what I'm saying, he was drunk, you know, he's never been that way before, but whenever he drinks too much, you know, he can't get a little bit different, and he just snapped or whatever, you know what I'm saying. And they then show him like sitting around drinking or whatnot. That isn't an excuse that he was drinking at all, but they both were wrong, but they're only addressing Vado, and that's like they made it. And what made me more mad was when Dr. Ish said, you know, we talked to Tahiri too. So there's no footage of that. But he made sure to post the footage of Vado's part. But no one posted the part of Tahiri. Fair is fair. Let's see that be, okay? So then we see outside, Corrupt and Tony is talking. And Corrupt says to Tony, like, they both was wrong. You know what I'm saying? Like, she shouldn't have hit him with them apples either. And then Tony says, well, that doesn't matter. Yes, it do. Yes, it does. Like, it does. And the fact of saying that she shouldn't have did that doesn't make what he did right. And I think that's the part that people get confused about, is if you say, well, saying she shouldn't have did that isn't an excuse to say she deserved what he did. It just means, hey, if you don't rob a bank, you won't go to jail. Action to reaction. If you rob a bank, you can possibly go to you can probably go to jail. If you hit a man, he may hit your ass back. If you hit him with apples, he may wait a minute and then he may yoke you up. Okay, but I was just dumb. The next morning, Vado stayed the night like in Dr. Ish's office or whatever, and they had like security outside the door just to be sure, because they wanted to make sure that Tahiri was safe. And I'm like, Willie and Devon got into a full-fledged brawl that it took a few security guards to break up. That was worse. Devon, after that fact, still yanked up Hazel, and she's pregnant. And no one has even talked about that, but I digress. Vado admits, I lost it. I can't believe, I was wrong. I lost it. I can't, he seemed like he was shocked that he did that. But, I mean, bro, you did it. So we then see Dr. Ish call Justin, told him who was out sick or whatever. They then bring in like their producers or whatever to have a conversation about what to do. And Justin told him, like, I feel like, letting him stay would make people think that his action was okay. So she's like, I think he should leave. And then Eric, I think he should leave too. I'm looking like, but why is he the only one leaving? That's my issue. If you want to make an example, you can't punish one person for an action that other people have done. But again, this is how we perpetuate the fact that only women are abused, and that isn't what happened even in this situation. But I digress. Okay, so we see Dr. Ish go talk to Vado. All the ladies that I've seen who've been abused by men, I always told them, like, if you don't give that man any consequences, the actions that he does will continue. You know what I'm saying? And Valo then said, well, I can't believe she pulled me out of my character like that. You know what I'm saying? Because she kept, poking or whatever at me. And then Dr. Ish then said, oh, so she deserved it. Valo quickly replied, he's like, well, yeah, I mean, and I'm like, he then realized he didn't mean to say she deserved it. But he still said it, so I mean, that's fuck up on his part. But again, I don't think Vado's innocent. I just also think Tahiri's guilty. I think they both are, and I'm gonna keep saying it the whole video. So again, he said, no, she don't deserve it. That's not what I was saying. You know what I'm saying? But she kept fucking with me, and I just snapped. Boom. Okay. He said, well, because of security, whatever, because of safety precautions, we can't have you in the house, so we're gonna ask you to stay at a hotel. And you can stay in the program that you do work on your own, because Tahiri has things that she needs to work on her own, and you have things that you need to work on too. So we're gonna work with y'all separately. So Vado isn't off marriage boot camp. He does no longer work in the house. He can't be around Tahiri for right now. And I'm like, but why is she still there? And I'm confused. So y'all had Vado leave, who yoked up Tahiri. But again, Devon and Willie had a full-fledged brawl. And you didn't think about anyone else's safety but them two in the house? At least Devon, because Devon was the aggressor. Devon was the aggressor in that situation, and y'all left him in the house. Even after the fight with Willie, he then again pulled up Hazel in their room on camera, and y'all saw it. So again, why is Vado the only one being put out? Again, I feel like if Vado should not be in the house, neither should Devon. Neither should Willie. But, what I'm saying, it is what it is. Look, girl, we have to address both people being wrong. But I call bullshit, we're going to leave it at that. So, he then Dr. Ish tells Harry that Vado going to be leaving at a hotel. And they'll have him working on stuff separately or whatever. And she's like, okay, I'm saying, I just know a man should lead with his actions. I'm looking like what also angered me is Tahiri did not take any responsibility for her part in what she did to him first. None. The whole time she sat there like she was 100% the innocent victim, and she isn't 100% innocent. But again, I don't know what they cut out. This can be, WeTV's way to edit, and make it seem as if, we are so sympathetic to domestic violence. As if we didn't see her throw them apples at that man's head. But girl, I can't. So we do see the other people. Because now that's done. So we don't see Vito for the rest of this episode. We don't know what happened for the next, 4 episodes or whatever. Corrupt is still drinking. Drinking. So we still have drunk ass alcoholic Corrupt in the house who don't need to be there, and they know he don't need to be there. And him and Tony has a toxic, volatile relationship. He's in the house. And then Devon, who is an absolute violent abuser. Okay, he's violent and aggressive in the house. But again, I digress. Dr. Ish does tell all of them how they had, Vito leave the house, but he's still working the program that's out the house. The session or the exercise for the day is, that each person has to write down what they don't like about themselves. At this point, I didn't care. I was aggravated, so I wasn't listening too much. I heard Tahiri bring up how, she was, because I was confused again how they didn't bring up Tahiri throwing them apples at the man's head like a baseballs. But, what I'm saying, I then heard her crying. I'm like, why is she crying? She brings up how, she hates her nose because it's crooked after a man, punched her in the nose. Years ago, she was at either a fashion show or some event, either a fashion show or some kind of show. And the security guard punched her in the face and beat her up to where they had to pull him off of her. And that was all in the news a long time ago. And she says her nose is a bit crooked from that. So that's the thing that she just hates, because when she looks at the crookedness of her nose, she remembers the incident. That's sad. That's very sad. Corrupt brings up how he hates that he's ignorant to a lot of things in life. And he admits that, when he says ignorant, he means he just don't give a fuck about it. He wants to, but he doesn't. And he understands that that's him being ignorant. You know what I'm saying? He also brings up how he feels like people prefer to be around Corrupt, who's partying, drinking, having fun, this and that. And, who's always drinking, basically. And they don't want to be around boring Ricardo. And so he drinks a lot for that reason. And Dr. Ish told him, your mask seems to be corrupt. You use that as a way to not be yourself. But if you are yourself more, I'm pretty sure people will love you. And I'm like, they probably would or whatever. Now, we do see Corrupt and Tony fussing again because they're toxic. Period. We see Shonda and Willie talking or whatever, and because they then had each of them talking one with another, but again, I was tuned out. We see Shonda and Willie talking, and she brings up how she's upset with herself for allowing herself to be treated how he's treated her so far. And I'm like, well, that's sad. Okay, we then see Tahiri saying that she doesn't want to, that she does want to talk to Vito, even though she's happy that he isn't in the house right now. And okay. We then see each person is in the backyard, and I forgot one thing. This is how we know that Phaedra and Medina are not in a relationship. This is how they woke up. I don't know two people who are a couple who sleep under the covers, but then they both are wrapped up like a cocoon in their own sheet set. That's just, so y'all don't cuddle? Y'all don't cuddle? They two little caterpillars trying to be butterflies. I'm like, you know what? I'm hoping today that she admits it's a fake ass relationship. I'm like, cause they in cocoons. I'm like, why it can't be that cold in their house. It just can't be. And girl, they not fucking fooling me. But I forgot to mention that earlier. Anyway, so in the backyard, they have each of them, because when they were telling what they did not like about each other, about themselves, they had to write it on a little board, which made it become a shirt. So they put them in the backyard, and they had to put their shirt on a punching bag dummy. and they have to like punch out and express what they hate or whatever. So Tahiri hates that she's hard on herself, that she's only known for being a video vixen, and how she has reactions. Corrupt is upset or hates that, his drinking problem, how he treats his woman, and the mistakes he's made in the past. Tony says that she hates that she lets people get her out of her character. Tony likes to make it seem as if Corrupt makes her an angry person. I feel like that angriness is in her. I think that for some reason. But again, that she lets people get her out of character, her temper, and people not being as loyal to her as she is to them. Shauna said her anger. She said some other stuff, but I didn't listen that much. Wooly said his anger and that he couldn't find the courage to be a good husband. I mean, you cheated for 12 years. I mean, what do you want to do? Divine said he hates that he isn't independent and he hates being judged. Hazel then says how before her, Divine was on IG finessing women on IG. I said, like he finessed you? Girl, bye. And she says, but with me, he's an aspiring model. I was like, on what pages of Vogue? On what pages of Right On magazine? On what pages of any magazine? On what pages of IG? Has anyone... Devon is a handsome man. He really, 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 really... He's very... He could be a model. But I'm like... Through Hazel? People don't like Hazel. Girl. Anyway, Hazel then says she hates that her rap career never took off. She said her rap career didn't take off like she wanted it to. It did not take off at all. She also brings up that she's known more for drama than her rapping because you are the drama. The reason that you're known more for your drama is because of you, not because of anybody else, okay? Had you not been, I'm better than whoever else, I'm Hazel E, I'm ZZ, and I'm dating Decepticon, or whatever, and really just been an artist on Love and Hip Hop, you may have gotten your music popping, but you didn't. You got what you gave out. But Dina says he hates that he trusts too much, and that was about it. I'm not going to trust Phaedra to come on the show was a mistake. Phaedra, who to me was not being for real. Girl, she was just, look at this. I just want to make it smaller. Look at this. First of all, she was dancing around a little dummy thing, whatever. I hate that I'm a perfectionist. I hate that I'm a money tree and that I have to always give out money. I just don't know why Phaedra is here. I just don't. It was so pathetic. Anyway, we then see back in the house. Corrupt is talking to Tahiri, and I think someone else may have been saying, I can't think of who else was saying. It may have been Sean, I don't know. And then Tony walks in. It was all down in the kitchen. And then he's saying to them, and I think he's probably a bit drunk, okay, but anyway, he brings up how he can admit that at times he does not believe in himself. At times he has these major insecurities and he doesn't listen, and he knows he doesn't listen. And then, he said, and that's a part of my anger. All of that is wrapped up in my anger. And then Tony then said, that's what gets on my nerves. And he said, I just have this, this built up anger in me. My mom is dead and I'm angry about that. And it's hard waking up every morning and my best friend is gone. The person who knew me best, who I knew always loved me, regardless of whatever else, is no longer here. And and people wonder why I drink so much. I think people don't understand how some people can't handle losing people. You know what I'm saying? And if they already had a little bit, like if he already had a little bit of a drinking problem, when he drank a little bit too much, that one thing made him just go all the way off the edge or whatever. And Tony brings up how, he then says how he since my mama died, Tony is the most happiness that I've had in my life since my mom died, so which made Tony cry. Everybody got teary-eyed. He then got, emotional, whatever, I gotta go, something in my eye. He gets up and walks away, and he goes upstairs in the room, be like, I'm just saying too much. I'm just saying, so he kind of had to remove himself from the situation to prevent himself from, from crying out, or whatever. Tony then says to, Theory or whoever was in there, but it was this, I don't know. She brings up how, I've heard him say that before, he's had these conversations of, explaining the reason he drinks so much, whatever, but, it's bullshit. I'm saying, she's like, my whole family did. I'm like, well, damn. the whole family. You know what I'm saying? And that may be why she holds on to him so much, because maybe he's all that she has. But she says, my whole family's dead or whatever, and I can't relate to him using his dead mother as the reason he drinks so much, because I don't do that. Well, y'all are two different people, and some people just handle it differently. And that's just what it is. So we then see, it's the nighttime or whatever, and he's asleep. Now they didn't have kind of a good day all day. They was arguing for a little bit because they are toxic. Girl's bad, because she wants him to respect her, and sometimes he doesn't. And then I don't even know if he really loves her, because it's kind of crazy. But while they in the bed, everybody in the bed sleep, everybody sleep in the bed or whatever, and they show Tony and Corrupt in the bed. First of all, Corrupt is sleeping in his shoes. I'm like, is he just hoping if he wakes up, he can go where he gotta go? But, we see him laying in the bed, and his phone is on his chest, but he's asleep. And we see Tony's sit up in the bed, and she's on the computer or whatever, and we see her just slide his phone off his chest real slick like, and then she looks through it or whatever, and she's like, we've had these conversations or whatever. He's supposed to be this, he's supposed to be that, and we had a talk, okay, and some told me to just go through his phone, and so she snooped. And she said, and I see he called that homeless bitch. I'm like, is the bitch really homeless? I just wonder, whatever. And so we see her being pissed because, again, he called this homeless bitch again. And so we'll see what happens next week. And that was the whole episode. This season, I'll say this. Phaedra and Medina was a whole fake couple who came here just for the money. Corrupt and Tony are a real couple. However, he's an alcoholic. He needs to be in rehab. He don't need to be on marriage boot camp. Because marriage boot camp ain't gonna save their relationship. He needs professional medical help for his alcoholism. Shonda and Willie could be okay if he stopped cheating on her. However, if he keeps cheating on her and she just continues to stay, he's not gonna stop cheating. Hazel and Divine, who now have a kid, I don't see them lasting, more than 3 more years. I get them 3 years just because that's even enough number for they weird asses. And I know 3 is not an even number, but they're weird. And then Tahiri and Vado may have been fucking around, but they still came on here for a check. And this season, to me, is a mockery of what this is. Marriage boot camp, and it's only one married couple. You have one married couple. You have one fake couple. Okay, Phaedra and Medina. You have even Divine and Hazel, who are here for a check because they just want to be on the show, even though they probably do really want to work on their relationship. And then it's a dumbass season. And it's aggravating. So, girl, that's it. I'm done. I ranted enough. If you liked my review, good. If you didn't like it, oh well. This is the thing with the comment section. Feel free to have your opinions. Feel free to do that. But you can't tell me that my opinion is wrong. It's just different from yours. So, again, be in the comment section all y'all want. But don't you come on here with the I can't believe you said that. Just state your opinion, mine, and that's good. Or sir, either way. I love you all. Peace.